The static test.
All right, we're good. Awesome.
All right, so how did you get started making movies?
A buddy of mine, when I moved here, went to junior high with. Him and his friend always made movies with their home video camera, and I just started hanging out with them. They stopped being serious about it, and I got more serious about it. And I started a story for the first independent film we were going to do, and I did a Planet Radio Static Planet thing. Asked for people to help me. That's how I got in touch with him. He called, and then we started writing together.
Is this film a departure from prior films that you've made, or would you say this is kind of on the same vein? Or
I'd have to say
the theme is always pain, but this is definitely a milestone.
It's growth, I think. This is definitely, I mean, for him, it's certainly, I mean, this is my first film I've been a part of. I've always done a lot of writing, but I'd have to say, just looking at his past movies compared to this one, there's a lot of growth in it. I mean, you can see not just in, the quality of the writing or the filming, but just storytelling in general.
Well, to talk about the Two Crackers and a Lamp thing again, because I noticed that they are, I guess Chad is an executive producer on the film, and given that Two Crackers and a Lamp put out essentially these two films this year, the Grind to Shine documentary that he just did, and the Tomorrow Mourning that you're putting on this weekend, and both have starkly different perspectives on God specifically in the church. Like, they're both more heavy-handed. I mean, they talk more, they deal more with the issue of God in the church than most films in general. And so to have two by local filmmakers that know each other, you know what I mean, come out at the same time and then have such different kind of perspectives, because that sort of celebrates God in the church, and that and even the communion of doing drugs and still being part of the church. And then your film obviously presents a starkly different perspective of the church.
I think our movie is more about, it's not so much anti-God as it is anti-religion. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy, and is what we're trying to, I don't want to say attack, but it is.
Just kind of show.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
We just want to present it.
When I first wrote the story, there was a 72-page script originally before I gave it to Jeff, and then it became a 142-page script. The original idea was to take 6 stereotypes that specifically religion places on different groups of society, and it'd almost be like if you could give a church something to inform them of the people that they judge. Let them at least, if they're going to judge them, let them at least understand them. Then this would be what the movie would be for, is to inform them of that. And we have big differences between what our preference of movie is and what Chad's preference of movie is, but we all get along anyways. I enjoy his movies, enjoys these.
Do you feel like this movie takes on too much almost? I mean, it seems really dense. It's hard to follow. For me, it's hard in a film to follow. Like Magnolia had, 5 characters that you're having to kind of learn, get to know, and then, all the way through Daniel Moore and all of them. And you have 6 in this film. Was that hard for you? Do you think that it came off well?
It was really, really hard to follow for us as far as because this was the first movie that we actually went by a script the whole entire time. Turn was improv. Mr. Crowstow's Dream, the script had to be thrown out due to hurricane, and we had to start from scratch and just make it up as we went along. And Everything Means Nothing was scripted, but it wasn't really a story. It was just 2 guys in a kitchen. This one had a lot of locations, a lot of different wardrobes, and a lot of different people associating with different characters. So it was definitely a lot more to take on, a lot more to follow. I mean, we take on a lot, but I think each character's story is simple enough to just enjoy.
I think, yeah, as a whole, it's definitely complex, but when you break all the characters down into their each individual character, I think it's very simple.
Not really a lot happens to them.
What inspired you to make this movie?
There's a lot of incidents in there that happened to me personally. I was just looking for an outlet to make a real personal movie. That's usually the way they all start. This one just happened to stick to that idea throughout the whole process. I'm just infatuated with pain.
What cinematographers or directors do you cite as influences in your style?
Gus Van Sant, number one. Wes Anderson.
Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman, writing.
Yeah, Charlie Kaufman for writing.
Yeah, the original script was more so focused on the incidents and the pain that the characters go through, and it became a 142-page script when I gave it to Jeff. He's more focused on characters and how their lives ironically intertwine. So it worked out good the way those two came together. Don't you think, Jeff?
I would have to say, yeah, it worked out real good. It became a whole new movie.
Gus Van Sant is my number one. As far as the influence for the movie, this movie, there's not really any kind of specific cinematographer. It's just really influenced by Spun, Requiem for a Dream, and Manic. The original, like I was saying before, with the change in the tone of it, we were originally going for like a Spun type thing where it's kind of borderline funny at times. The original scene where the rapist comes in the motel room, there was supposed to be some crazy funk music playing when he comes in. It was supposed to be like almost animated, and it just wasn't happening when we got out the Phillips Highway, and then we were in a dirty motel room when that actually happened to people at. The tone changed on its own.
Do you feel like the talent in this picture that you guys have just made compares to other independent films that you see out there, or how do you feel like it was faring?
We were surprised, honestly, at the talent that we had brought in, because when you're dealing with, a low budget to no budget kind of situation, you're hesitant on the kind of talent that you think you're going to get. And I would easily, even as we were filming, there were several times where we thought to ourselves, even if we had a large budget and we were able to get, named actors and actresses, we wouldn't trade our cast for any of them. I would have definitely gotten rid of me for somebody else, if I could have. But you liked me way too much.
Yeah, on the audition tape that we had from Fuel, Jeff had it on his camera. He had to put it on a VHS tape for me. And he gave me the VHS tape, and at the end of the VHS tape, he recorded his own audition at his house. And it was like 40 minutes long. It was just so effing cute.
Effing cute. Let me stand.
I knew I had the part.
Yeah.
Before I even did the audition.
I could tell you were
I knew I got
you're
this.
cocky confident.
How'd you do your research? Like, what did you have to do to discover the life of a prostitute? And
that was actually the actress Christiana White. We just based it off of what stereotypically we thought. But she actually went out and talked to strippers and
people that live that lifestyle.
Yeah, individuals that live that life. And that's where she got her inspiration for the character.
And she already had the wardrobe for some reason. Uh, I mean, most of the movie came from personal experience anyways, so that's where a lot of the research came from, and Jeff is a Google master, so there's a lot of interesting fun facts in there about, like, what is it, the Germanic Visigoth at the end.
History of Gothic.
He did a whole bunch of history on that
Yeah.
to prove that and all that good stuff.
Is there really Angel's Trumpet Flower that?
That's a real experience. I went up to a nursery. My girlfriend at the time found out that her friend said that, yeah, there's this plant, it gets you real high if you eat it. So I went up to the nursery to see if the plant was there. I acted like I was getting plants from my grandmother, and then we went up to the nursery later that night and stole the plant. And I woke up the next morning and I couldn't see anything. My vision was all blurry. I had a stomach ache, and I found out that there is a bromania that droops down and a datura that stands up, and datura will screw you up real bad, and bromania will get you high. But it was real dark in the nursery when I took the plant, and I accidentally took a datura that had died and was wilted and drooping down. So it was bad news. The poison control lady actually called me an idiot when I called her.
Nice. How difficult is it to coordinate shooting with an all-volunteer cast?
They were ready and willing.
It wasn't, yeah.
So, like,
Surprisingly,
scheduling everything
with
was.
the amount of people that we had to work with,
There's never any time where we had to
never any
cancel a shoot
there was
for
never
anything.
conflicts at all.
And we'd go, one weekend we actually went like 48 hours of straight shooting from, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. We called everybody out to do a nursery scene. And then we shot all Saturday. Then all through Saturday night we did the car crash scene because we had to do it when no one was on the road. And we finished the car crash scene just in time to leave for Orlando to do a shoot with extras in Orlando at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was a wild weekend, and everybody was right on time except for us. We made it to Orlando 45 minutes late. But
That's easily the winning scene of the whole film, and that whole sequence of from stealing the flowers all the way through to waking up the next day and having the flashbacks. I mean, that sequence was amazing. It was really.
There was a lot of work put into it too.
I bet.
the car didn't actually run, so we had to pull it on the highway. And the straps came undone like 3 times on the highway, and it had to coast onto the shoulder. It was a scary evening. And we left the car. We left the car right there at the tree. We poured blood all over it. It was on a construction site. I could just imagine what those people thought when they got there the next morning.
What is your favorite part of the filmmaking process?
Yeah, working with this.
Like editing or shooting or writing or.
Writing is, I mean, they all have their different perks to it. Writing is really exciting because you're putting the story together. Filming is probably the most fun part of it because that's when you're with everybody and you get to goof off and have a good time with all your new friends. But at the same time, that's probably the most strenuous part of the whole thing is getting up in the morning and planning everything throughout the week. And editing is really exciting because you're putting the story together, but then at that time you're all by yourself, so it's also kind of a drag because it seems like it's a lot of work, but it's exciting because it's almost instantaneous results. You edit for 4 hours and you get to see a scene at the end of the night. Filming is probably definitely the most fun part of it, just because you get to hang out with everybody. I just hope that people are as cool as they were this time, every time. Hope we didn't get lucky. And every movie we do after this, we think back of how great it was.
It's possible.
How long did this film take from writing to completion?
2 years.
Yeah, I wrote the first draft in like December of 2003. It was like in February. I sent it to Jeff, and we worked on it back and forth for 6 months. We casted like 4 months before we started shooting. We started shooting like 2 weeks after Hurricane Katrina, whenever that was. I can't remember. It's all one big blur. We finished shooting in May.
About that, yeah. It was
May of
right around
2006.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna burn the final edit this week.
How's Jacksonville given you opportunities that you wouldn't have had elsewhere?
They don't mess with you a lot here, like as far as going places and shooting on location. They don't pay as much attention to that as I would think they would in other places. The locations are great here. You can go on Main Street and get every kind of lifestyle that you want, from trailer park to downtown ghetto to artsy fartsy. I like Jacksonville.
I think, yeah, with the history, of the movie industry beginning in Jacksonville, and now that they're trying to, put it back on the map with the film festival, that they started a few years ago, I think that filmmakers are definitely, on the ground of something that could be pretty big. And I just think being a part of that is why we have so many good opportunities.
I'm almost scared to leave because I've stuck it out for 4 years. I feel like as soon as I leave, that's when I'm going to start hearing about everything blowing up. That's usually the way it works.
How does Jacksonville limit your abilities? Like, what are the limitations of Jacksonville?
The premiere time. Premiere time is what hurts the most.
What road is ahead for Tomorrow Mourning? I mean, are you going to be submitting it to film festivals and stuff? Like, what are the...
After the premiere, we'll probably go through just another quick edit to make sure, if there's anything we missed, we'll probably do a little bit of that. We're going to take it to a sound engineer to just, make the sound and audio have that cinematic quality to it. And then after that, we're just going to start kicking it out to as many festivals as we can afford.
What will the next one be about?
We've got so many. We're not sure yet. We don't know what the next one is. We've got
a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas that we've started on. Thinking about it, but we're still so wrapped up in this one that we just can't dedicate our time to another baby.
Yeah, the way I am, if I even start getting excited about another project, Tomorrow Morning will start hurting because of it.
I mean, this movie has literally sucked the life out of us. I mean, our lives have changed so much. Maybe it's coincidence,
not just metaphorically either.
It's just,
if you had seen
truly
us
has
2 years
been
ago.
because of this film that our lives have drastically changed. Some for the better, some for the worse. I mean, there's been ups and downs throughout the whole thing, but it's interesting. The whole movie being about choice and interaction, and it's strange how you wonder sometimes, does life reflect art or does art reflect life? And it's weird how that intertwines like that.
What did you think about the movie?
I liked it a lot. I did think it was a little too dense, as far as it was really hard to follow a lot. And see, none of them are my experiences, so I'm just looking at it as fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I felt like some of the storylines were almost extraneous. You know what I mean? Like, I would get bogged down in trying to follow some of these people, and really the message of the movie could have been delivered without all that, I felt like. And I'm not a filmmaker, so my critique is literally grain of salt. But I've always been really into film. I'm a student of film, always. And that's why I really did appreciate the cinematography a lot. And I liked the edits. I liked how, during some scenes, you really intensified like the turmoil that can't be shown by a long still shot, just by doing the cut edits of like somebody just sitting in the same spot but in the different positions. And I really liked how you did some of the long takes, especially, I can't remember who the dialogue was between, but where you were having like the sun rays that hit the lens, and they would swing back and forth as you're going back and forth, and it was a continuous shot. Which was that intentional, or did it just happen to capture that way?
With the sun rays being there, well, we noticed the sun rays there, and that's why it stayed a long take in the edit. We had a one shot and a 2 shot of her, and when it was panning back and forth, when I saw we were editing, the sun ray being there, I was like, man, Hollywood can't even buy that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, that was definitely good. But I liked it overall. Like, I think that it shows a lot of maturity for filmmaking that I didn't. You have to understand, I've lived in this town long enough that as soon as somebody says Jacksonville filmmaker, I'm like,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but I was really surprised by Tomorrow Mourning, and especially just like the stylisticness of the embracing of the white. Like, even the dark scenes still had a lot of light.
Yeah.
And the guy that played the
Mike.
the criminal, Mike, he was great. I mean,
Yeah.
and those scenes he sold me on without effortlessly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I
that's
didn't
him.
feel
I mean,
like he had to like
you'd be
sit
surprised,
down and
yeah.
get in the method. He
Right.
just had it.
Yeah, he
It
put
was
himself
good.
in.
Yeah.
He threw himself on that bathroom floor, and it was hurting my face.
Oh, and the scene, the best comic relief, and it was so needed because, you know, the movie's so
It's very,
like
yeah.
heavy, and then with him just sitting in the streets like screaming about the drugs, that was
Right.
hysterical. And that
That
was
was
like great needed relief. You know what I
He
mean?
was like 1 block away from the mayor's office. We were the most excited about filming that scene. Like, we were writing it. We were like, man, I can't wait to see this guy sitting in the middle of the street screaming out the names of drugs.
Yeah, that scene was hysterical, and like I said, yeah, much needed. You know what
It's
I mean?
funny too, because when you're talking about the comic relief, with filming a movie like this and filming the scenes that were intense and even for us emotional at times, I mean, behind the scenes, it was just laughter after laughter. I mean, we had to just break up, you know, everything that was going on during
Right.
filming. 'cause
Except
it
for the
was-
motel scenes. During the motel scenes, there was no joking.
Yeah, that was an intense day with the rape and everything. I mean,
And all of Lisa's scenes were shot in one day at that motel, so it was like, all right, bring one guy in, that guy leaves, bring another guy in, now bring the girl in.
it was
And
a dirty feeling. I mean, after that day, I had to go home and I was like, I need a shower. I just need to get in the shower. I feel bad. I feel I need to go pray or something.
I just wanted to go play with children.
Right.
Just be innocent.
I need a puppy. I need something good and wholesome.
Oh, and the lady that played the mom, the wife of the pastor, and the mom of the gay guy that was dealing with it, she was phenomenal. I mean, she was really good.
She
She
put herself
sold me
out
well
there.
too.
We got lucky with everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
we really just having a random audition for some random movie that we
Right.
concepted. I mean, like I said, we wouldn't have picked it any other way.
Sweet.
A lot of great friends that we made doing this thing. So it's almost that, even that too. It's almost, you're almost hesitant to even start the next project because you almost feel like you're doing an injustice to
Right.
to the one that you spent 2 years, you know. But you got to.